Hello, my name's Phil. I'm married to Sarah and we have three children, Emily, Joseph and Reuben. And my story is a bit different from the one we heard last week. It doesn't involve drugs or crime, or at least nothing I got caught for. I grew up in a Christian family. I was taken to church every week. About the age of 15 or 16, I remember thinking, these people in church have got something that I haven't. A sense of meaning and purpose and motivation for their lives. And it was obvious why. It's because they were Christians, because they followed Jesus. And going to church meetings, I felt like an outsider looking in. It was something I wanted to be part of. But as a teenage boy, it's not easy to talk about your inmost thoughts and feelings. Feel embarrassed or awkward, at least I did. And this went on for a long time, and it's something that I really wanted, but it was too difficult to tell anyone about it. One Easter, a preacher was talked powerfully about the death of Jesus and the cross, and he finished by saying, if you don't respond to this, it's like you're saying, I don't care about it, it doesn't mean anything to me. Well, I did care about Jesus dying on the cross for me. It did mean a lot to me, and I didn't want people thinking it didn't. And it's this that tipped me over the edge and gave me the courage just to talk to my mum about it, and to tell her that I wanted to become a Christian. I wanted to follow Jesus. I wanted to be baptised. And I was on the 24th of April. I was 17, and it was a few years ago now. Let's just say last century. But as you get older, you start questioning things. What about other religions? Hasn't science disproved God? As I learnt more about other religions, it seemed to me that they were all rather similar. Basically, the kind of thing that people would make up. If I was going to invent a religion, it probably wouldn't be something really wacky like worshipping a giant teapot. Yeah, Google it. It would probably involve following rules and rituals and basically what most religions are like. By following rules, performing rituals, it's supposed to somehow make you acceptable to God, as though he really likes that kind of thing and he's impressed if you do them. But as I learnt more about Christianity, it seemed to me radically different, especially when I understood about the grace of God, which said you can't earn God's favour through following rules or carrying out rituals, but rather God has done it all for you through Jesus. You'll be saved if you trust not in what you do, but in what Jesus did, his life, death, resurrection. So God gets the credit for it, not you. And it seemed to give much more glory to God than other religions. And when it came to science, well, I could see science provided an explanation for a lot of things about the world and the universe. But when I think about what the world is like, its beauty and creativity, the existence of life, of love, of music, even of electricity and radio waves, I think, what is the most believable explanation for how it got here? That it just evolved like this by chance, or out of some infinitesimally small thing called a singularity that exploded and expanded into all of this without anything or anyone directing it? For me, it was far more likely, more believable that there's a God behind it directing it all into what we now see. And my final reason for following Jesus: answered prayers. And I'm going to give just one example, selling our flats. 14 Jasmine Grove in Penge, South London, or South London as they say it down there. Well, we'd been married a few months. We put the flat on the market. We'd had a bit of interest at the beginning. A couple of people come round to look at it. But then it went completely quiet, completely dead for weeks, for months. No one interested. One morning I was home alone. It was a Saturday. I was doing the washing up. I looked out the window and I could see three people arriving downstairs. And I knew it was an estate agent taking a couple to look at the flat 2 floors above us. And I thought, this is ridiculous. That flat is nothing like as nice as our one. And I felt so frustrated and angry. And I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray about this. Because there's a little verse that the Apostle Peter wrote. He said, cast all your cares on him because he cares for you. So that's what I did. I went into the lounge, I got down on my knees, and I prayed fervently, I prayed earnestly, I prayed loudly. I don't know what the neighbours thought about it. And after about 15 or 20 minutes of this, I just felt I prayed enough. And you know what? As I was standing to my feet, the telephone rang. I can still picture it so vividly. It was there in the room with me on the floor. I went over, picked it up. Hello, it's the estate agent. We've got a young lady here who wants to come round this morning and look at your flat. Is that okay? Well, she came round, she liked it, she bought it, and we were able to move on. So in my moments of doubt, when I start thinking, is there really a God at all? Or is it all just made up? Am I wasting my time following this person called Jesus and praying to him? I think about the world and the universe. Could it really have come about by itself? I think about the believability of Christianity, and I think about answered prayers, and I say, don't be daft. There is a God. His name is Jesus, and he cares for you. Thank you.